advice when it comes to for sale by owner. There's a phrase in the real estate game.
Our favorite FSBO.
Yeah, sometimes we shorten it to FSBO, FSBO, for sale by owner. But the point is, if you're going to get involved in selling your own home, it's possible to do it, but there's plenty to think about. What comes to your mind when you think about that for sale by owner as a real estate attorney?
Well, let me begin by telling you most attorneys love FSBOs for two reasons. Number one, because now they don't have a real estate professional helping them, they can step in and basically charge for all the documentation. The second issue is the likelihood of somebody being sued post-sale after a FSBO is 100 times greater.
Wow.
So typically what I find, if you have a good real estate professional like yourself or Tina involved in the matter, it's not going to have a problem. On the other hand, if you're selling it by owner, you're not a real estate professional typically, and you're going to make some mistakes, and it's going to come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think people think it's a lot easier than it is.
Well, I don't want to give you the sense that you can't do it.
No,
you
right.
can do it, but there really is a lot to think about. And I guess probably most people want to try to do it on their own because they're looking at real estate commissions that the real estate community makes off their transaction, and they're thinking, I don't need to pay this. I can do this myself. But as a real estate attorney, Ron, you'd say, there's some risk there that might not be worth it to you.
Well, what I'd say is this, and I use myself as an example. I've sold several principal residences and several investment properties, and I've always used a broker, even though I am a broker and a real estate attorney.
Wow.
So as a residential real estate professional, there's a number of really good reasons why it doesn't make sense to sell your own home. A couple of things are, first of all, most people think that they're going to save money. Reality is as real estate professionals, we use the phrase, post-sale proceeds or sale proceeds, net sale proceeds.
Yeah, what are you going to walk with?
Right.
You don't want to leave any money on the table. You want to take your money is in that home. You want to take as much of that with you as possible.
Exactly. And for most people, they're thinking right off the top, erroneously, they're going to save 6%. Well, we all know that most people these days are smart and they use a buyer's agent. So a buyer's agent's not going to close the deal without their 3%.
Right.
Then you pay an attorney their fees. And the other problem is, and the reason I mentioned earlier, I would never think about selling my own property, even though I am a broker and a real estate attorney, is because we know a couple of things. Number one, when somebody comes to see your home, they're going to see some issues that they're not going to like. They're not going to tell you because you're the owner. On the other hand, a real estate professional can address that, fix it, and resolve it.
Right. It turns out in our American culture, we're a little bit, shy sometimes to just be face-to-face about things. But if I'm talking to your representative if I'm the buyer and you're the seller, I'm talking to your representative. I say, look, there's some problems here, there, and the other. But if I'm talking to you, I might, well, no, it's nice. And I might not really go after the problem. And so we want to get the thing done, not just play games with it, right? So that's important. Representation can play that role. And then I know from the studies that it turns out, why do people shop for the for sale by owner? Because they think they're going to get a deal and they offer less. And they don't have that seller doesn't have a professional advising them about how to get the highest price for their home in that market and the exposure. It's all about what a real estate professional can offer you in terms of that wider net of exposure.
Well, and also when you look at your house, you've lived there, you like it, you maybe don't see some things that somebody coming in from the outside would say, yes, it's a beautiful home. Here's the things you need to fix.
And then we'll give you a quick checklist of how to get more money, because if you fix that and do this and declutter and all the things. But, well, folks, we're run out of time here on Michigan Real Talk. Every Sunday we like to bring you some of Michigan's finest professionals, Ron Thompson, Thompson Stewart PC. Thank you so much for joining us in studio.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it.
We want to say a special thanks to Sean Locke, was here with Title Partners.
Yep, Linus Thalman with Summit Funding, and of course our good friend Scott Fader with Suits for Soldiers.
Thank you very much.
Suitsforsoldiers.org. Check them out. You're listening to Michigan Real Talk.